Okay, so standard format for these presentations, as you, lots of you will know, we're going to cover definitely leaving here, race 11, getting into Panama, the Panama Canal transit.
I am Patrick, or Paddy Moran. I am on Team Halong Bay Vietnam, and I am going around the world. Team Halong Bay have arrived into Seattle with another win and sitting pretty 5 points behind in second in the overall leaderboard. And the more we climb up the table, the more you're like, okay, well, we're in fourth, maybe we could be in third. Oh, we're in third, maybe we could be in second. You know, now we're in second, who knows? First 3 races we went last place, second last. Yeah, on the other hand then we got one win, and then we got another win back to back, and then we managed to get another 2 along the way. So we're the only team that's got multiple wins at 4, and considering we've had a change of skipper in that time, I think it says a lot about us as a team. It was worrying after 8 races when we were told that Josh, our skipper up till then, would be stepping off the boat for medical reasons. But getting a new skipper after sailing halfway around world was, I'd be lying if I didn't say it was worrying.
My name is Bob Beggs, and I'm the skipper of Halong Bay in the Clipper race. I'm a professional skipper. I examine and I teach all sorts of maritime subjects all around the world. This is my 4th appearance in the Clipper race itself. I did the first complete race in 2000 on Bristol Clipper, and we were fortunate as a team to win the overall race, which was fantastic.
You know, when Bob came in, he's quite a big personality, and he's so experienced, he knows so much about sailing, about racing, about ocean racing, that there was a moment there where he was saying, okay, we're going to do this different, we're going to do this, we're going to change that, but I think once he saw us race from Zhuhai to Qingdao, he kind of saw that we were quite capable, we knew what we were doing.
The skipper of Halong Bay is doing a very good job. He's performed well and created a fantastic team. Needed to get off and go back to UK for personal reasons. So I joined the boat to relieve him of the task. And what I found when I got on board the boat was that he created a really good team. So I'm taking the reins over of a boat that's already got good focus and good team dynamics.
It was a massive blow, really. You know, we were Team Josh. You know, there was so much of him on that boat, and so much of him in how we sailed and how we performed and how we did things, that it was, you know, before we actually got to sail with Bob and sail with our new skipper, it was a big worry going like, well, is it going to be the same? Is a new skipper going to come in and change everything?
When I joined the team in Zhuhai and we did our first race, that was my first look at the team, and of course their first look at me as the new skipper. So I picked up the reins of a boat that was already had been doing well. It had won, I think, 3 events by then, so it knew what success was all about, and it was hungry for more success. So on the last leg we've just done, from Qingdao to here in Seattle, across the finish line in first place, so which helped us get to the second place on the leaderboard. So very good result.
I kind of came into the race thinking, to get the full experience, I would like to win a race, make a podium, you know, things like that, and I've done all those things. Now we've won a couple of races, now we're in the top 3 in the overall standings. I think, well, to get the full experience, why not win the whole damn thing, you know?
There are 4 races to go before we arrive back in Gosport. I now feel as though the crew are really empowered, having just won the race from Qingdao to here in Seattle. The crew seem empowered, they seem hungry for more success. So hopefully we'll drive the boat fast and we'll keep ourselves up at the top.
The Clipper race is a race of 11 boats that set out to go around the world for 11 months. We set off in the UK and we go all around the world, east ways, and 11 months later we're back.
The race is 40,000 miles, split up into 14 separate races.
They're sailed by non-professionals, people from all walks of life, some with previous sailing experience, some with not. There's 2 professional sailors on board to make sure that everything runs smoothly and safely.
That's the beauty of Clipper. They've created this system of crossing the toughest oceans of the world safer.
It really isn't a cruise, it's working all day, every day, from when we leave to when we arrive. They'll be short of sleep, they'll be tired, they'll be wet, they'll be cold, they'll be uncomfortable, and they'll be loving every minute of it.
It brings out the best in people. It really starts to teach you about yourself.
I think a lot of people, when they start off, really have no idea what they're undertaking.
I think that realization that once the boat has sailed, you cannot pull out.
Every single one of them is looking for an adventure in their own right, and every single one of them will get it as well.
It offers people that opportunity to do it as safely as possible, you know, and to really sort of push themselves and to sort of go to places on the planet that you would never get to.
There are definitely moments when you are out there and you're asking, why am I doing this?
That's what people want. That's why people have signed up for it. They haven't signed up for champagne sailing.
You know, professional or non-professional, the same conditions are waiting for you out there. Something that you can't quite understand till you're there, just what it's like.
At some points in this race, we're closer to the people in the International Space Station than we are to anyone else on the planet.
Helicopter rescue is not a feasible option. We can't get medical help out there.
The sea is still just as dangerous as it's ever been. And you're going to have to learn to live with and respect it, because it doesn't give a damn about you.
We got off to a good start, which we've been doing for a while, for the last couple of races, and that, you know, that's great. That feels really good. And the conditions we got were, you know, where we were expecting. Okay, we're kind of done with the Pacific now, moving down south, moving down to the tropics and down to the Caribbean. It's going to calm down a little bit, but we actually got some incredible conditions coming down the coast of California. I think it was some of the biggest following waves we've seen on the entire circumnavigation. The fleet split about 3 different directions, which has happened before. But when you've got your close competitors in the overall standings like Zhuhai and Perseverance that go one way, we were glued to those position reports. There might have been pockets of the crew that were competitive and eyeing up a top 3 overall finish or wanted more wins. And maybe there were pockets of the crew who weren't so sure and just wanted to finish the race and just wanted to cross oceans. But I think Bob's competitiveness has really kind of brought out the competitiveness in the rest of the crew.
So what started off as an adventure has definitely turned into a race, and just want to keep doing well.
My name's Oliver Hooton. I'm currently living just outside Woking, in South West London area, and on CV31 Harlong Bay. Coming to this, I thought, well, I'm here more for the challenge. You know, it's the challenge of sailing around the world that I'm really, really interested in. The race has taken over, and it's far more important to me now than it was when I started. Definitely, I would like to do well. Sadly, I lost my wife to cancer about 14, 15 months ago. So after she had about a 3-year illness, and then we lost her in December.
Did you feel it from across the room? Did you feel a little enchanted too? Did I miss something more with you?
I needed to get out of the house I needed to get away from some of the memories and just, do something completely different and allow myself to think without being so involved in our memories in the house. Out of something unutterably shit, I've managed to do something which has provided me with a lot of space and time to think. And also time not to think as well. When you're busy, you can't think. So if you're feeling a bit down and all of a sudden, sail change, yep, no, I'll do that. And you're away, and it can clear the mind. So yeah, the emotions are definitely still there. There's still the weight inside you, but then, things happen that allow you to function.
Maybe then I wouldn't be asking if I hadn't turned to leave. Would you have come to sit with me? Love the feeling of your eyes on me, like something from a fantasy.
For me, simple little things can sometimes trigger me and set me off, and sometimes happily, sometimes sadly, but one of the things we always associate rainbows with Anna. There was a series of coincidences shortly after she passed. You come up out of the companionway and there's just a massive rainbow across the sky. And you've had several days of storms and there's this rainbow welcoming you up through the companionway. Oh, Anna's made a rainbow. And you can be feeling really down and that's all you need, it's just that little bit.
But now I'll never know.
Have I ever considered stepping off? No, I haven't. I felt low, and certainly sometimes when the grief of Anna spills over, I felt very low indeed. But my crew are fantastic. Being at home with the family was fantastic and wonderful, and they're all incredibly supportive. I couldn't ask for better. But to be completely removed from that situation and still be surrounded by people that are caring and nurturing and looking after you it's a very nice feeling.
Never knowing what could have been.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for breakfast. It looks, or brunch, or whatever we're calling this meal. It looks delicious. Thank you to everyone for working hard throughout the night. We're now in the midsection as we head down the coast of Mexico. Yeah, so the temperature's going to start going up. So great opportunity to change clothes, have a wash, sort stuff out, have a bit of an organiser of bits and bobs. If you've got stuff that's wet, come bring it out to dry it. Yeah, it's an incredible moment to watch the crew go through the changes that they go through and to watch how they develop. They've come on leaps and bounds. They are completely different people. They set out with this goal of sailing around the world in whatever they thought that was going to be for them. And since then they've experienced so much. Now looking at the last couple of races, they do the sailing of the boat. They know how to check the boat is safe. They know how to look after themselves. They know how to service the life jackets. They are essentially running the boat, and I'm just there to make sure the boxes get ticked and the formal paperwork gets sent in, and to make sure that they have as good a time as they have been having. But they're such different people to when they stepped on the boat, both as people and as sailors.
Of course, at the beginning of the race, you're still learning everything, but by the end, you're already so confident that you know what to do, even in the toughest moments, in the big winds, you know what to do, so you don't need to get nervous, you don't need to be, you just react.
I have been reflecting my journey and helming, or how I felt when I was helming, it has been a big part of my reflection. I think the difference I see myself helming today, or what I feel today, is that exhilarance is still there. The excitement that was there since day one is still there. The difference now is that I don't really have the panic anymore.
It's not a cockiness or anything, but there's definitely a confidence. I've said a few times that, on the race, just because I hadn't sailed before I started this, that I'm not a sailor, I'm not, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just following orders. I'm just doing what I learned in training. But things become more than that, and you take ownership of what you're doing and of what you know and what you think you know and the actions you take. And yeah, I feel really comfortable on the boat and really confident that that I can keep it racing and keep it sailing fast.
I remember when I did the leg one from Cadiz to Punta. I said to myself, when we've been out for 20 days, what the hell have I been doing? But after time you get into it, you do all the races, you do all the big things, Southern Ocean and everything like that. And it became your normal life. So you start to get into this groove, doing this by daily basis. This is my job, this is my life.
Just the amount of time that you have, and without a phone or the internet, to be aware of yourself and everything, that's special. It's really something. I don't know if many people get that these days.
I think I've always considered myself a creature at sea. I've always loved the ocean, the water, always loved. But now I feel that I can cross it, you know, I can go anywhere in the world, I can do it.
You have been changed so much in your way to see things and what you've seen and how you work and how you live on a boat for 11 months. So it's going to have an implication on life afterwards.
The race is now in a new phase. The strong winds we've had previously are now beginning to ease back, and we're now getting to a light wind area.
The wind started to die probably a little earlier than I expected it to. So the challenges of racing and staying racing in those conditions, something our boat does very well is keeping focused when the winds go light.
Trimming constantly, way more than we have on other legs. It's just a constant thing. The trimmers and the grinders going non-stop. And the helms have been trying really hard to steer as precisely as they can.
We know from some boats pretty much give up when the wind drops below 3 or 4 knots, whereas Bob and Cam and everyone on board Halong Bay is very much like, if you keep moving at 2 or 3 knots, that momentum is going to pay off when the wind does fill in. You're wondering, oh, did they get wind last night? Because we didn't get any wind last night. And they pop up on the position report and suddenly they're 7 miles in front and you're like, oh, they got wind last night. But then you take it back, and while that's exciting in a sense, you do feel a little bit helpless and a little bit at mercy of the light wind conditions. We've had glimpses of sharks and large fish, jumping fish, some sort of sea snake type creature. We're not even sure what we're seeing, but there's lots of things around us in the water. Yeah, and the not so positive side, obviously racing very hard, it's very, very hot. We are 4 miles ahead of Qingdao in second, they're slightly north of us. And then in third and fourth are Zhuhai and Perseverance. They're 44 and 48 miles back. I guess our luck ran out a little bit. It was the final night. I think Qingdao crossed the finish line sometime early in the morning. And overnight that night they had just got some wind that we didn't get, and they had nudged themselves a couple of miles in front.
So, well done Qingdao.
It's been a long race, similar to the last one. This has been a long race. Our crew have worked extremely well. Teamwork's been fantastic, and the crew have got what they deserve. They've got a good, solid second place.
It's still a second place, and I even look back on the boat feed now, and I think, wow, we were really miserable about getting second there. You know, we shouldn't have been so beat up about it. It's disappointing to lose a close race, but it's only 1 point at the end of the day. I think we've our sights set on bigger things than just individual races. So, in the grand strategy of the whole thing, I think it's just a point.
Yeah, so we found out Qingdao crossed the line, so they got first place, and then they've got it. So yeah, well played them. Obviously, it would have been nice to get first.
Some members of the crew were disappointed of not getting first. So a reminder that actually you can't just come and do this race against strong competition and win everything.
You can wait close to point number 6. Point number 6, pilot at 0400. Over.
That's all received. Buoy number 6, pilot at 0400. Many thanks indeed. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. We are going through the Panama Canal today. We're waiting for the sun to come up and for our pilot to join us, who should be joining us in the next few minutes. Morning, pilot. How are you? Welcome aboard. Once we've all got our pilots on, we'll turn around and start heading up the river underneath the Bridge of the Americas and to the first locks, the Miraflores locks, which herald the start of our day's adventures.
We're entering the Pacific side of the canal, the Panama Canal, which as a round-the-worlder has been something I've been looking forward to. For me, it's kind of hard to imagine that we're already here in a lot of ways, and yet really, really excited to see this today and then to see what lies ahead in the next 8 weeks.
Curious to see how this is going to operate. I mean, I know it's going to take quite some time, a number of hours, but I've never been through a canal with locks like this, especially this sort of scale.
Top of the wall, there are these two guys. When we are approaching, they will send the messenger lines. They will take care of the line.
We transited the Panama Canal, which is it's a bucket list item for most sailors. It's a very, very famous part of the world, a bit of engineering feat, and it's symbolic for the Clipper race because it's going back to the Atlantic, which is the ocean we started in.
We are in the lower chamber of Miraflores locks, so we are rising the level about 7 meters from the sea level. So we will be on a height of the lake, which is now about 81 feet. So that was is done in each chamber. We rise with fresh water from the lake, the level of the ships, and that's how they transit the canal.
Really heavy gauge is closed and the water come out from the bottom, which is quite unexpected. We're picturing coming from maybe somewhere else, but looks like a fountain come from nowhere. It's quite interesting.
We're just thinking it's giving the bottom of the boat a nice clean as well, so win-win situation.
Incredible to see, going right behind the big tanker, I think is really special as well, to kind of just see the scale of everything and how it works for them.
Leaving the Pedro Miguel locks, the second set of locks on the Pacific side of the Panama Canal, and from here we're just going under the new Bridge of the Americas before entering the cutting, which is about 20 miles of deep cut where they had to basically cut the canal through the mountain.
Going through the canal is exciting and interesting, and there's lots of things to look at, and going from big blue ocean into the jungle, it feels like the jungle with green and crocodiles, alligators.
We're in the first of the Gatun locks, waiting to go down to the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean.
You're above the Atlantic, so you are at the top of these locks looking down into the Atlantic Ocean. And
very soon, when we get down to the base level, the gates will open and we'll go through into the Atlantic, which we haven't seen for 6, 8, how many months now? 8 months? Maybe more.
This is the final lock in the Panama Canal, opening into the Atlantic side on the East Coast officially. Yeah, really exciting. But on the home stretch here, going into our home port, also the final stretch back to the UK. So really excited.
Hey, well done, that's the Panama Canal done. Hey.
So my name's Liz DeCesare, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm sailing on the Washington, D.C. yacht, or Little Washy. For me, this was originally just looking for something to do as a sabbatical. So a year off of work, I was looking for something different to kind of get out of the monotony and the routine that I had, more of a career break. The fact that this was a race, there was a little bit more purpose to it, pushing the boat, looking to achieve kind of the best that you can be, go as fast as you can. And then really the full circumnavigation is what drew me to this. So a full year-long activity, you're completing a full trip around the globe is something that I thought was really cool and kind of worth taking time off to go do.
Okay, the start. It is 78:13. The start, 1, 2, 3. So it is around there. They picked that point because basically that is exactly where the wind will start. There is always very, 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 very light wind over here. And actually, if you look at the forecast, then it's blue, 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 blue. And then when it gets to that point, the wind starts filling in. So that's how far it is. And that is just on the rum line where we go.
Team Washington DC, congratulations on your voyage to Panama. Good thing it's a short stopover because we cannot wait for you to come see us. We are really overjoyed that the fleet will soon be here and want to make sure you know our nation's capital welcomes you with open arms.
After the Panama Canal, we motor about 200 miles to do a Le Mans start offshore, and then we race about 1,800 miles up the east coast of the USA to Washington DC. So yeah, we're going to be going into our home port, Washington DC, which is just, I think, going to be our biggest moment of the race. You know, we've been repping DC the whole time, chanting it, building up to it. It'd be great to kind of deliver the boat to DC and be like, yeah, we made it, and here we are, and here it is. So it's going to be probably the biggest part of my race, you know, regardless of racing or anything like that, like going into DC. And as much as we'd like to do well sailing into out home port and a podium would be great, we also have to be realistic. So we are in 10th place overall and are so at the bottom of the fleet. And it's a roller coaster of emotions, you know. But we've found the boats that we match with and the boats that we race with.
Yay, we're going, it's happening.
In terms of racing, Washington, we're in 10th place at the moment, so fairly low on points. We're not at the top of the leaderboard. We're not, you know, competing for a podium finish at the end of this. So I'm a fairly competitive person. I did do this and want to be on the boat for the racing aspect. And for me, what I've actually really enjoyed about it is that it's less where you finish, it's less how you came in, but it's how are you dealing with those situations. You can have a really competitive race, a really good race, and still not finish in the top 3. And I think that's okay.
We are in the Caribbean islands, so we've got Haiti to the east of us, and we've got Cuba just to the kind of west of us. We are in a section called the Windward Passage. It's very patchy as well. Like if we look at the speeds of the boats around us, we have Dare to Leader doing 4 knots compared to Perseverance who are doing 8.1, and they're only kind of 6 miles apart from each other. So and we're kind of doing 6, which is sort of the middle of that. We have our own little competitions with boats, you know, where there's a lot of boats we've sailed really closely with. Our main competitors are probably Becca-Zayler. You know, we're often sailing very close to them. We're very close in the overall standings, and so those are our main competitions. And so we're always wondering where they are. Like, you know, my crew, when we say where is everyone, one of the questions will always be where is Becca-Zayler.
We were absolutely with the pack for the first 2 days. We got literally into the Caribbean Sea between Jamaica and Haiti, and we just stopped and the fleet kept going, and we suddenly found ourselves right at the back again.
So our position, we are currently 10th, no we're not, currently 11th. The nearest boat to us is about 6 miles that way. Frustratingly, we're doing 9 knots. Interestingly enough, there's been a split in the pack. It's a 10-to-1 split in the pack. 10 boats have gone for mandatory gate 2, and we're going for mandatory gate 3. But there is some opportunity here for us to make a big gain on the boats because we are likely to have more wind. If the weather forecast does, they're going to die off, and yeah, so suddenly it's game on.
But what was very interesting about this leg is up until we got into the Atlantic, the weather forecast was almost to the minute accurate. We got into the Atlantic and it was like not worth the paper it was written on. You know, there were times where I thought we are going to be making it up on the fleet, and we were bobbing around doing 1 or 2 knots, and the fleet should have been wind-holed, or the rest of the fleet, and they were clearly doing 8 or 9 knots. The wind has died right off. We're down to about 5 knots, and so the crew have had a bit of a discussion, and we've spoken to the race office, and we have got permission to start our engine and take 11th place. In the last few races, we've come 11th, or double first, as I say. And that sometimes takes away from the achievement that the crew have actually done. You know, we came 11th into Seattle. We were 20 hours behind the rest of the fleet. How many people have sailed across the North Pacific? And yeah, that sort of undermined what they had achieved. It took away from them. Hopefully, when they go away from it and reflect back, then they'll put that into perspective.
It's pretty frustrating that we're 11th again.
So since Newcastle, we have been coming last most of the times, apart from maybe 1 or 2 races that we came just 10th. I mean, I have been competitive person. I am a competitive person. I am actually extremely competitive person. I think that is exactly why feeling defeated was so painful. And that overcoming that extreme pain itself was a lesson for me. I think I took it for granted for a long time, and then also this Clipper experiences kind of, you know, show me that yeah, you have been extremely privileged and lucky, and you haven't noticed till now. And part of that luck and privileges I had was that I had been successful in my life. So there hadn't been a big defeat in my life. And that smooth sailing perhaps might not have given me that trigger to see how strong I can be. I reminded myself why I signed up for this, and I wanted to come out of it feeling that I can do anything. That was my intention, that I come out more courageous, more daring. And I just realized, oh wow, me wanting to be courageous and fearless, and that sense of I can do anything, came very unexpected way, that if I can continue the races like this, motivating myself, after one race, another that we came last, and not just motivating myself, but helping others' frustrations and helping others to stay positive. Isn't that the strength that I was missing whenever I felt a bit stuck in my life? That realization kind of made me feel so grateful. Yeah, extremely grateful. And it's incredible that in our effort to
seek something adventurous externally, we end up digging deep. Manage the incredible self-discovery. Yeah.
Finally here, we're now motoring towards Washington DC, which is very exciting. So yeah, it's a great feeling right now. So we're happy to be finished. Arriving into DC was, yeah, it sort of exceeded the expectations. It was quite a complicated way to get there. We had to go under the Woodrow Wilson Memorial Bridge, which actually had to be opened specifically for the clipper race so that we could get through. And that only gets opened up at certain times because it's a very major road. But, you know, and it opened up, and as it opened up, the sun starts rising. And we went through, and suddenly you start seeing the iconic parts of DC, you know, like the Washington Memorial, the Capitol building. So there it is. The city that we've been talking about, you know, the skyline that's on the back of the t-shirt. And even for 6 a.m, there's so many people there, you know, shouting and, you know, saying hi, and cameras and stuff. And yeah, we docked up and there we were, there it was.
Good morning. Normally I wake up to a cup of coffee, but waking up to a yacht is a beautiful thing. So I want to officially welcome the Washington, D.C. team to the nation's capital here in Washington, D.C. We should be super excited this morning. We just made history by having this stopover here in Washington, D.C.
Is it up here? Ah, follow the t-shirts.
Okay, so race 13. God knows how we've got here already, race 13. I mean, it's absolutely flying by at the moment. You must.
My name is Annick Sikkingen. I'm from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and I'm joining Perseverance for leg 8. I never thought of sailing the world. I never thought of crossing an ocean. And then I work for the Princess Maxima Center. A colleague sent me a message like, hey, would you like to go on a big adventure? And I was like, yeah, of course. What is it? And then there was an open call for ambassadors for Team Perseverance for the Princess Maxima Center. Really cool because Perseverance is racing with like logos of the Princess Maxima Center, which is an organization that's really close to my heart. It's something remarkable, like as a youth cancer survivor, to do this, and then like Perseverance being in second place, maybe winning the race. It's also something I think would be really inspiring to see for children who have cancer now. It's like, hey, 10 years later you could be on a boat sailing the world and win this race.
Is everybody aware of their muster number? Let's start. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So we have 2 races to go still, from DC, from the US to Scotland, and then from Scotland home to Portsmouth. A lot has happened for us on the leaderboard, and it hasn't been good. We were first. We are now joint second, third.
Yeah, of course I've been watching Perseverance for the past 9 months. They're in second place, and yeah, so there is a chance that we win the race, so that's quite exciting actually. There's some pressure for the final leg, but also good pressure because we might win the race.
I think when people join, and that gets more so towards the end of the race, you step into a machine that's already running. Whether you like it or not, you kind of have to go along with that. But I think there's massive space to bring a lot of enthusiasm and energy to a team that's otherwise a bit tired already. So that I think it's a lot of it is about a mindset. If you come in and say, okay, you've been doing this for a year, this is the way you guys do things, that's fine. But I'm here to work as hard as I can and crack jokes and have fun and chat to everybody and make sure we have a good energy, then I think it's fantastic. And a lot of the people we're getting on at this stage are exactly in that mindset, so that's great.
If our team wins the race, I think the biggest credits go to the people who've been on the boat for the whole year. But I also think that a team is made by a lot of individuals who all do their part. So I will just have a slightly, like a little part in it. But I would just contribute my little stone.
Top of the leaderboard is James, Bob and me. 3 very, very different people. I know both of them very well. Bob is a seasoned sailor and racer. He's done the race before, he's won the race before, he knows the boats very well. And James has proven a formidable opponent on this race, and I think he's an amazing sailor. So very different, all very different personalities and different ways of running the boat, I think. But all 3 of us have a shot at this.
I think maybe it might be a 3-horse race now. I think you're always looking over your shoulder. We've got some great teams behind us, but I think we can sort of safely say, barring some real disasters, I think we're going to be in that sort of top 3 spot.
So currently in first on the leaderboard is Halong Bay, which came a little bit out of nowhere. They didn't have the best first half of the race. They went kind of from last to them being first once and then being last twice again. They got a new skipper, and since then they've been flying.
Although we have a good lead, the 2 boats behind us, trailing behind us, they have a double bubble on the next event.
But just for the record, once only, there's 4 teams left to play their jokers in this race, okay? So we know absolutely that the teams playing their jokers are...
So you get 1 joker in the whole circumnavigation, and it essentially allows you to double your race points. It's a bit of a game changer in terms of if it goes well, it's massive. It can pop you straight to the top of the leaderboards.
So Halong Bay played their joker and did really well out of it, came in first, so they doubled their points, made a massive jump on the leaderboard. We haven't done it yet, Zhuhai hasn't done it yet, so either of us could win and make that massive jump, in which case either of us would definitely, or both of us, if we come 1 and 2nd, would overtake Halong Bay again.
That makes it such an important thing in your sort of circumnavigation, your sort of plan, and it's that's why people are so wary of playing it. It has the sort of hoodoo that it puts a lot of pressure on you because you know you need to make it work.
And if our boat is not able to muster a win on this one, I would like some of the other fast boats to make sure they take 1st, 2nd or 3rd place, because that denies the double points for Zhuhai and Perseverance. This race is on and it's going right down to the line. It's very exciting.
I think it takes 1 team to have a bad race, or a really good race, and it's just going to be, it's going to be all over the place. I mean, I think if Halong Bay really smash this one, then it could be a bit less down to the wire. But I think if we all have good results here, it's going to be, it's not going to be such a relaxing sail back to Portsmouth.
So just make sure everyone takes this a little bit seriously. Don't start getting casual. We've still got to get across the Atlantic, and it can be a nasty ocean, we know that.
When we leave here from Washington DC, we set sail for Scotland, basically crossing the Atlantic the last ocean crossing on the way home.
Now, for the crew that have gone around the world, they've now done the Southern Ocean, Indian Ocean, plus they've done the Pacific, which are huge oceans. I want to remind my crew that we're now going across the Atlantic, which is not, it's not a pond.
So on this race, it's going to take about 2.5 weeks or so. The shortest route would take us quite far north, but because that is iceberg area, they do set us a limit. But we're still going to go as far north as the Titanic.
And everyone was pretty fired up for it, pretty keen. We knew we needed a good result in this one to kind of secure our place in the top 3. And we were obviously really, really hoping that we could put some points on Perseverance and Halong Bay. This is a big one for us as a boat, race-wise. This is massive. We're playing our joker. We're 1 point behind Perseverance, 13, 14 points behind Halong Bay. Okay. Now we're going to need a seriously good result to catch Halong Bay. I'm not saying we can't do it. I think we should absolutely push as hard as we can on this leg, and obviously that goes with being safe. We're not going to do anything that's dangerous. The
fact that we're getting closer to you all departing is giving me some little sad moments here.
Charlie Victor 26. That is 2 minutes to slip.
Yes, so we were obviously very race focused this time. And we always try to be, but you know, playing your joker, you know, it's such a key part of the whole circumnavigation, your entire sort of race strategy. You know, we really sort of needed to have a bit of edge this time.
Good start, did really good during the day. Then the wind died down overnight to about 1 knot. We did lose some ground overnight. I think we're currently in 4th with Zhuhai, Arals and Oceans and Washington DC ahead of us. And the whole fleet has entered the Gulf Stream. Yay! So we're getting about 3 knots of free speed out of that. We were definitely at all times focused on what they were doing. I think all 3 of us made different choices in the beginning, but we kept crossing paths and then stick with each other for a while and then separate again. I think all of us realized that none of us 3 were going to give up anything and pushing hard. That did help for a little while. It was just Zhuhai and us, and we pushed each other along very well. We gained on Halong Bay and then that swapped around again. We had Halong Bay with us for a while and then gained on Zhuhai for a bit.
We've now found the high pressure that was sort of sitting off the east coast of America. Fortunately, we got in front of everyone, got the win first by being the highest boat and kind of just a couple of miles in front.
Actually, we did really well. Yeah, came out the block super fast. Managed to pull away with 1 night. We just shot away from Perseverance. It went really well, and then I made a mistake. I should have tacked a lot sooner and gone up in the Gulf Stream. There was a bit of a mistake there, sort of threw away a lead, which was a shame. And really, yeah, I mean, that was it. We made a few mistakes, and I don't know whether it was like extra pressure or something like that, but it's very difficult not to beat yourself up because you get to see it on the track. You see exactly where it went wrong and where you should have gone. But you have to put it behind you pretty quickly. You know, you have to accept if you're in a position where you make a lot of decisions, you're going to get quite a few of them wrong. You can get a few of them right, but the key is to keep making decisions.
We were pretty aware of the fact that we were in 1st or 2nd or 3rd. But then of course Enoch and Josh, they check all the time, where are the others, where are we? So sometimes it's like, you're coming on deck for a new watch and we're like, okay guys, we're in 2nd place now, we have to push it, okay. The pressure is spread upon everybody's shoulders, you know? And then, like mostly on Enoch and Josh, but everybody does their part. It creates great team spirit when hard work pays off and everybody's just really happy and supportive of each other. Without sailing is already a challenge. I mean, finding your stuff, getting dressed. No, it's a challenge, but it's definitely doable, and you get better at it. You find your routine, you find your place to put stuff. It's a one-way trip, and I think it's a good thing, because if there's only a slightest possibility for you to get off, maybe you won't be able to push through. So it's a good thing, because you know you're gonna stay on the boat, so you're gathering all your strength or everything you have to push through because you have to, and that's also really rewarding because at the end of the trip, you know you can.
The weird thing here, I think if you're a skipper of this boat, your first responsibility is safety and keeping the boat in one piece and getting everybody across. And then it's also a race, and then obviously you want to make everybody as happy as you can. But like I said, people do come to the race with different ambitions and different reasons for being there, which is not always easy to combine on a boat.
The goal was to circumnavigate the world, complete the race.
We still have a little bit left, but I feel like, well, it's pretty much guaranteed I will finish it. Whereas in previous races, there's always a bit of a what's going to happen next. I think up until this point, I had always been taking one step at a time, but now I can actually see the end.
I didn't know whether I was going to finish. I wanted to, but there were so many variables. I didn't know. There were days where I was hating it. I think everybody else was hating it, even the chairperson about stopped talking. And then that made me realize something. It can be very difficult when you're living your dream. It had been very difficult, but it stayed with me every single day that I was living my dream. I went on a journey to achieve something impossible. I was living my dream every day. It is okay to be hating it at times, but it doesn't take away the fact it was my dream. Yes. So yeah, when I first signed up, my only goal was to finish and stay alive. Winning the Clipper race was not even in the parameter. I didn't even go that way. But now, 7 months later, 8 months later, my sole focus is on winning this race.
The wind has dropped off quite a lot compared to what it has been. We're not quite doing the same speeds anymore. We're currently in fourth. We've got Qingdao over there in third. It's all getting a little bit more unsettled, as the sort of forecast said it would, and so now really, the game is trying to navigate this slightly trickier weather. So yeah, we got Perseverance out in front of us. They popped up 13 miles ahead, which was a surprise. I didn't think they'd be that far ahead. So we kind of knew that we would really have our work cut out to catch them, but also with the sort of fluky breeze, not impossible. But the more sort of real concern was that Halong Bay was just behind us, so literally 3 miles behind us. At the end of the day, we're second coming into the sort of final 100 or so miles into the finish, so can't complain too much. We're in a relatively strong position upwind of everybody, so I think there's every chance that we should hopefully finish well in this race and secure our place in the top 3 overall, which is the overall goal of this leg that we kind of set out.
There's a lot at stake. All 3 of us can, in theory, still win. Zhuhai and us are playing the Joker, which both of us would need to catch up with Halong Bay. So with the 3 of us going for 1, 2, and 3, the way it looks now, it's going to be very interesting. Not doing the mental maths in my head yet on the points. Let's get to the finish first. And then we got in a very challenging wind situation. And Zhuhai decided to go further north, and I decided to push more east because I felt that the east was harder to get. So at any moment that we could get east, I was pushing east. In hindsight, that was a critical moment in the race. Ta-da! We're in first! It's been great. People have been super focused because they know what's at stake and been keeping the crew up to date, and they keep asking how fast are they going, how fast are we going, what course should we be doing, can we trim more? So it's absolutely been really good. Everybody's super motivated, but they're all very aware that we still have a wind hole between us and the finish that looks pretty daunting, and everything can happen there, to be honest. So it was stressful up until the end because a wind hole was forecasted on the finish line. Okay, for the oncoming watch, for your information. Okay, if we go up with a Windseeker Oracle 1, we're going Port Halyard only. It's already set on the bow. Actually, we're gonna change plans. It's gonna stay there in case we need to hoist the Yankee quickly. What, 1.2 knots?
Who's on Halyard?
Who's on Halyard? Bill, just pull the whole thing. Come on, it's a Windseeker. Oh, you just want a bit of an ease, not all the way. Once we had a windless patch and we could see it coming. We could see the wind on the far side of it, and it was only about 500 meters further. And we realized if we managed to cross that, then we're home free because then nobody can overtake that many miles. So for 40 minutes we were struggling to get to that patch, but we kept moving slowly forward. And that's when I realized that it would be okay, we'll make it. Okay, so it happened. The wind finally died quite rapidly and started going around in circles. But at least we're doing 5.7 knots towards the finish.
How many more hours do we have?
8.29, but who's counting?
I think for all the British crew, pretty emotional time. We're coming home, which is really exciting. The mole here is in the background.
First of all, so happy with how we raced this race. Super proud of the team. It was a super tactical race and we came out really well. And to come into here with this welcome is just extraordinary. We had planes and boats, ribs, and it's been fantastic. Bear away a little bit. I reckon that's about 10 seconds to go. Now I can see there. Yeah! Yes! Yes! Oh!
We won the race! It's great! It's great, we just arrived in Open, we just crossed the finish line. Everybody's super happy. It's amazing, beautiful here.
If there's a race I'm proud of to have won, it's this one. Because we gave it everything. And yeah, we did it.
Yeah, so we finished first position, which was insane. Everyone, I don't know, just doing this and then arriving first position, it's incredible. And it's, I don't know, it still feels really surreal that we're in top 3 and we might win the whole race.
What? Yeah, you're okay. Sorry, fuck.
Sorry.
Obviously that fatigue sort of set in, you know, and there's an element of, you know, whilst we obviously want to do really well, you know, for the welders it's been a long race, you know, and they're quite ready to sort of wrap this up. But yeah, I think everyone's ready for one last, you know, big go at it. You know, it's a short race, so I think it will be, yeah, we'll pull out all the stops for this one.
Yeah, so because we played our joker, we got double points. But on the leaderboard, that means we're now 3 points behind Halong Bay and 4 points ahead of Zhuhai.
We're now preparing for the next race to start, the end of the week. And we're in a very fortunate position. We've managed to maintain overall leadership on the leaderboard. Having 3 boats all within the possibility of winning the race makes the racing tight. And of course that's what you want. You want a tight race. So yeah, it's exciting.
It's going to be tense, that's for sure, and we definitely want to make it as uncomfortable as possible. Yeah, we've beaten Perseverance and Halong Bay in numerous other races. No, absolutely no reason we can't do it again.
It's possible that we still win. It's only 1 race to go. We have shown that we can beat Halong Bay and Zhuhai, but it's going to be hard. 3 points is a lot. I think all 3 of us are secure of a podium place, but the way the order can go, maybe for Zhuhai it's harder to become first, but they can still become second. So I know all 3 of us are going to give it everything we have.
It's nice knowing that we can't not be on the podium. That's fantastic, and there's a certain relief in that. You know, it's good to know that we are going to come, yeah, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st. But it would obviously be nice to try and creep a little bit higher.
Of course, it'd be a great thing to be a 2-time winner of the Clipper race, but the overriding fact for me is provide a really good place for my crew to race their boat effectively. So it's about team. There's no bobbing in Halong Bay. It's a team, and we want the team to do well.
are we good enough to win this race? I hope so, yes. So I think yes, we know we can do it, we have won before, and we've definitely got the people that want to win. So we just got to deliver over the next 6 days.
We know what we have to do. Yeah, I'm not saying we're definitely going to pull it off, but we know what the steps in the process are. So all we can do is just execute them, and the rest is just down to the rest of the fleet and down to the weather and the team that makes less mistakes and all this stuff that will just happen. We can only control what we do on our boat, so that's what we'll do.
It's within their grasp. I've got the upper hand, but it's by no means over. There's 2 fast boats out there. I think for Zhuhai to win would be the hardest.
All right, so here we are. Thanks for joining. This is our final crew brief of this Clipper 2023-24 race. Where's that gone? Where on earth has that Clipper race gone? Have a good night's sleep and enjoy yourselves, and then we'll see you tomorrow for departure. Thank you very much.
My name is Jacqueline Smith. I am from Wyoming in the United States, and I am on CV 31 Ha Long Bay. So I'd actually told my work that I was thinking about leaving. I'd been there for 10 years. I was feeling restless. Kind of life just felt pretty mundane. So I gave them a heads up. I said, hey, I don't know what life looks like, but I'm probably going to leave here. I was looking for an adventure. I was looking for, I guess, a little bit of chaos, some uncertainty. Something that was uncomfortable, something that would make me grow. I had never sailed before. I had never even dreamed about going across an ocean. Oh yeah, I definitely want to win the podium. I think it would just kind of be like the icing on the cake. It would be amazing. It'd be such a cool thing to experience with my team and be able to walk home from and to be on like the winning boat. You know, it was going to be an accomplishment no matter what to walk home and be like, hey, this is what I accomplished. But to walk home and be like, I accomplished this and I won. Just, I don't know, it feels a lot more badass. Yeah, I would say this whole experience has definitely exceeded my expectations with high highs and low lows. And I knew that I was gonna feel like I experienced something, that, you know, I went through something transformative and that I, you know, would have grown, and I feel like it did all of that. You know, I really enjoyed the thing the experience as a whole. It's been absolutely amazing.
First and foremost, it's been a pleasure. I think this is our last proper dockside brief. Real pleasure working with you all. I won't get too emotional.
It's the last one. There's a lot riding on this for everybody, isn't there? Okay. First and foremost, these short races are some of the hardest because they're really, really intense. 5 days of intense racing. All right. Lot riding on this one, and good luck to everybody. Okay. Well done. Thank you. Yeah.
Race, final homecoming. We're on our way home finally after 11 long months. It's really looking forward to it. It's looking like it's shaping up to be a good day. There's a good little bit of breeze out there.
I'm not sure I'm ready for reality, so that's all still ticking through my head, but I'm ready to sort of get going again, have some fun.
Sad. It's almost over. I cannot believe I'm going to get emotional. So.
mixed feelings, I think. Yeah, don't really want it to end, but also ready for it to be over.
There's going to be some crazy emotions going through us all when we get to actually see some familiar ground again with the Spinnaker Tower and all that.
1 minute, here we go, we're in a good spot here.
Oh, shit. Guys, main sheet. What? All right.
3, 2, 1. At the start. Let's power up, guys.
Let's go, grind on Yankee, guys. Let's go.
Keep going on that traveller.
Rest control, Charlie Victor 3-1, thanks very much. Look forward to seeing you at the other end. Out.
Well, I'm just really happy we're finally on our way. Start day is always a little, there's a lot of hard work and running around and standing still and a lot of stress. And now that we're on our way, we can just get going, sail, do what we're good at and get going.
Halong Bay's just there, Perseverance all the way down there, so we'll see. Perseverance did very well to get away. How they did on the line, that was quite impressive. It was difficult right from the get-go. We went straight from, we had a nice breeze to sort of start with, and and it went quite well for us. We were where we wanted to be, and then we just went into a very shifty kind of wind hole. There was a little bit of tide, and it got very kind of unpredictable where the best place to sort of go was. A bold tactical manoeuvre that got us 7 blazers down. And anyway, we ended up sort of in like 8th to 10th, kind of right at the back of the fleet, and we were all very close together, so it wasn't too bad.
Grinding.
We had a good start, we were away well. I think first for a while, then Halong Bay actually overtook us and then started covering us.
After we've done that rationale, we might just unconnect and reconnect.
As we lost our wind instruments just after we left Oban, we spent 2 days up and down the masts rewiring the instruments to make sure we had instruments for the end game.
We tried literally everything. Olaf and Bob rewired the entire instrument, the entire wind wand, and now we've just bypassed the physical connectors where they plug in at the top of the mast, and we've just hardwired the whole thing down the mast. I think we have finally fixed our wind instruments after about 24 hours of maybe more not having them.
After a fast night, the wind died throughout the day, and so it was a kind of light wind battle between all the boats, just trying to gain small advantage. Over the last 2 hours, the wind has filled in. We are part of the main pack and hoping to now make our way south, down the west coast of Ireland. UNICEF are well out in front, but everybody else is kind of in the mix.
The only way I know the boat is moving is that these orange peels are moving backwards.
Now the wind has almost completely died of 0.8 knots of breeze, but we have about 3 knots of tide with us, which is taking us down the Irish Sea.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating day. We've been battling out pretty much constantly with Perseverance. We're now very close. It's been a bit of a driftathon. Been in and out of little drifts of wind. We've just tried putting up the Code 1, so we're currently doing battle with the Code 1 and Perseverance.
Halong Bay only needed to be close to us. They only needed to defend their lead. They didn't need to beat us outright. They only needed to make sure that there were no boats in between us. So they could just, if we tack, they tack. If we jibe, they jibed. They kind of covered their the risk that they ran. And they kept that up for most of the race. So it wasn't until the last 2 days that they actually, and we're all kind of going in the same direction, they started doing more jibes on the wind shifts. And we just kept going, so we started deviating a little bit, but never more than, we were never more than a couple of miles apart.
You know, as we sort of got around Ireland, the wind started to kick in and kind of do a bit more sort of tactics, and a bit, they were right next to Halong Bay for ages, and then they tacked inshore to cover Perseverance, and it was they would sort of fight amongst themselves and we could go off and do our own thing. And at that point, that's exactly what happened. I think, you know, they saw Perseverance going off inshore and they thought, right, we'll cover them. Yeah, we won't end up that far behind Zhuhai. And then we went the other way and we headed a bit further offshore. The rest of the fleet, so sort of Perseverance and Halong Bay, those guys went inshore, and I think it's kind of paid off actually going further out. They look like they've got stuck a little bit.
Yeah, most went more offshore. 4 of us went inshore. And like it has proven many times on this race before, we're all so closely matched that we all just kind of ended up at the same point anyway a day later. And then it became like, okay, can we start overtaking other boats and putting them in between us and Halong Bay? And that's the moment Halong Bay started making some other decisions than us. They didn't outright cover us anymore.
Overnight we chose to put a jibe into the north. The weather gave a good angle, a good promise of a chance to get into the lead of the fleet behind UNICEF, of course.
Perseverance was just not gettable. They mirrored everything we did and we mirrored everything they did, but we just couldn't get ahead of them. And it made sense to mix it up a little bit. And we put in a jibe to the north towards Cornwall, a good chance to catch back up and be at the front of the fleet. But as always, the wind doesn't do, or as regularly, the wind doesn't do what it's expected to do. And we found that that particular jibe didn't work. And by the time we hung on, waiting for the wind shift, we realised, or I realised, that we had to put a jibe into the south, and that would end up letting at least 3 boats between us and Perseverance.
And then we found ourselves in 3rd, and Halong Bay found themselves in 9th. Enough difference for us to, at that moment, be overall 1st. And then the race got called early, which we all knew was coming. We could all do the calculations that we weren't making it on time.
And we now know the race is now going to be shortened course. We finished racing in 7 hours. There are 3 boats between us and Perseverance. We need to take 1 more boat in the next 7 hours to ensure 1st place overall. And quite clearly the target now has got to be Washington. because they're the nearest to us in miles to go. So we've got 7 hours to take a mile and a half off Washington to clinch first place. I'm optimistic. We've got a good team. We've just got to work ourselves very, very hard for the next 7 hours to make that happen.
You could see people's mood change as we dropped back the fleet, and we were in 9th at one point. At that point it was just kind of throwing our hands up a little bit and going, there's no point crying about this.
I think we had an option to kind of say, hey, it was an option we didn't consider, but the option was there to say, hey, we're going to take 8th place, and that's not what we did. It was, what can we do to get the boat going just a little bit faster?
So weight is critical. I mean, these boats are heavy. They're 30-something tons. And normally on a smaller boat, putting your crew on the lee side or the windward side, wherever the weight's most wanted, is valuable.
He wants all the weight on the low side, so we've got people sleeping down below on the high side, now on deck, sleeping on the low side, and weight as far back as possible. So there's a good 1, 2, 3, 5 of us crammed in this little space, just trying to do what we can to get the weight in the right place to help boat speed.
We knew that every single sail change, every single tack, every single jibe mattered massively.
We had a few excellent people on the helm, like Paddy, Ollie. They were just not sleeping for a long time. They were just having a watch pattern on their own that we always had one of our excellent helmsmen on the boat to not lose any centimeter.
I ended up on trim the last 3 hours, which was really, actually, I thought about as it was happening, as early on, I wasn't one of our best trimmers. I was almost a little over aggressive and would ease too much and collapse our kites and that. And so I remember someone else was on trim and Cam called up and was like, Jackie on trim.
And it was like somebody in the nav station always monitoring what is the competition doing, what are the boats doing ahead of us, do they jibe, where is wind potentially.
We need to be prioritising course a bit better.
Cameron, the AQP, was down below watching the numbers on the AIS. I was on deck, connected by the center headsets, just communicating back and forth, and I was communicating to the helmsman and calling the trim. So
came up to 35, 36 cog.
35, 36.
To guarantee first place, Inaka is hoping to overtake Zhuhai, who's actually 1 mile in front. So it's all very tense here.
So the wind is dying, Perseverance is right behind us, and what will be really. We've tried our absolute hardest. Yeah, having not really that kind of like power over the race, but it is in terms of like, you know, if they do overtake us, then they'll be at Halong Bay. But you know, you can't think about that when you're racing. You know, she wouldn't do it for me, and I wouldn't expect her to. You know, and that's not the way she'd want it to go. So we weren't going to give them an inch.
So the race would go until 6, and at about 4 o'clock, they had overtaken. I think the last one they overtook was DC.
We're currently 0.26 of a mile ahead of DC. 1 hour to go. Perseverance is behind Zhuhai. We need to hold off one of these 2 boats that we're racing in order to win overall. I daren't say more.
So presently, if we were to finish in these positions, it would be an overall win for our boat, and Perseverance is trying its hardest to shake Zhuhai's resolve.
At that moment, it was no longer under our control anyway. The only thing we could do is sail the fastest and the best we could, and we did.
You have to believe you will win. Not believe you can win, you have to believe you will win. And if you believe you will win, then you'll do everything you need that you can to win.
And we just started working again. And just went back to business. Once the wind filled in, it was just like, okay, we're still racing here.
But the crew picked up that mantle, and a few times they were saying, we're going to win this, Bob. Let's just keep doing what we do. And when you get that feedback from your team, it's fantastic. So,
pretty rewarding for me to be the person that the boat got to rely on. You know, they got to rely on Ollie and Patty for helming, but to be the person that, like Cam was like, no, I want you on trim for the finish. I don't know, it felt pretty rewarding to have had that growth and have that experience.
Slowly through the day it's only built, and then by the time we got to like 6:30 or something, it was like a pressure pot on the boat. Everybody was just so keyed up.
And all of a sudden we were able to overtake them by 0.18 of a mile.
I think we've sailed 44 or 45,000 miles, and we nosed ahead of DC by, I think, 0.21 of a mile at 7 o'clock on Friday evening.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Team Halong Bay, Vietnam, you've just spun around the world race!
Yeah, we won the overall by 1 point. It's completely unbelievable.
Oddly emotional for me and overwhelmed with the experience. I tend to, I don't know, keep my emotions under control and a tad bit probably stoic and
It's such a release. It was just fantastic. The entire boat just erupted in just joy, absolute joy for everybody.
We won the overall round the world race with 1 point ahead of Perseverance. So I have to say chapeau to everyone doing this, especially to UI and Perseverance, being then second and third on the podium.
3, 2, 1, yay! Well done, guys!
Overall, we came second, so that's amazing. I never, ever, ever would have guessed that we would have come on the podium if you would have asked me 11 months ago. So this is beyond belief. It's amazing. And in the last 11 months, we sailed around the globe over 8 legs, crossed all the oceans, had 14 stopovers, and now we're back here in the Solent, and we've made it 45,000 miles. I only ever set out at the beginning of the race to know that we had tried our best, that at all times we gave it all we had to give. And I can honestly say we did. I can honestly say that. So if that gets a second, I am amazingly proud of that.
Just excited for the end of this whole journey. I think we're all feeling a little bit of mixed emotions, just a lot of joy and excitement. This is a big moment to cross the final finish line of the last race.
2, 1!
We just crossed the finish line on race 14. I mean, after 11 months being on the sea, 14 races, a lifetime dream has come true now.
85, just wanted to say congratulations on this race. It was a pleasure racing against you guys.
You always kind of think about this day, when you start, you're like, well, one day that will be that finishing day, and actually when it comes, it's quite weird, it's quite sad, to be honest.
Just seeing so many people just there, just for all the boats coming in, and to be part of that and be on the water and be, it wouldn't have mattered where we placed. Coming into that marina was an indescribable feeling. I wish I could do it justice. It was right in the centre of you, how it felt. It was overwhelming.
And you see the finishing line, you see Portsmouth, and then you get this extra heartbeat of the feeling that you have really achieved it. And that feeling no one can take away from you.
Behind me is the circumnavigation. We just finished our race around the world with a clipper race, and hard to believe it, honestly. It has been a long, long journey around the world. It has been incredible.
The race is over and we've just sailed around the globe. There's not much more you can say about that.
Yeah, we're now finally back in Portsmouth, where we started from 11 months ago, and now we've completed sailing around the world.
Yeah, we just finished sailing around the world, and 11 months away, and now we're back. Weird. It feels like it's been ages, but also no time at all since we left it.
To come back into Portsmouth, to the same place we started this race, was a very surreal feeling. It almost felt like nothing had happened.
I still can't quite believe that we're back where we started with 44,000 odd miles, I think it is, under our belt.
We finished the circumnavigation. It feels weird.
It still hasn't sunk in for me. I think it would take some time. It's good to be back to where we started.
Surreal. It felt like it had been forever, but it was only yesterday at the same time.
It just felt like coming home. It was turned around to Mum, it's like we never left. Everything is exactly the same but completely different.
When we finished, it was just such an overload of emotions. I was like sad, happy, proud, relieved.
So I always thought that I was able to take on a journey like this. I didn't know at the beginning if I was able to finish it, but I knew that I could give it a try. And
I always started this race knowing and planning to finish it.
I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had no idea really what it was going to be like. I don't think anyone can.
I was looking forward to what's to come. I also had a big question mark. How would I handle it? What were my boundaries? What were my limits?
So yeah, I never doubted I would be here. I knew I would be here.
It's an amazing feeling that I have achieved something that beyond what I have imagined I could do.
I remember Bay of Biscay, that was rough. I remember that was like 4 days in, and I remember thinking I've got to do this for like another 11 months. I don't know if I have it in me.
I always thought like that humans are capable of incredible things when pushed to the limit. Actually, I was looking for my limits, and I suddenly realized months ago, while I was in the middle of the ocean, that I might have passed my limit long time before. And I kept them pushing away, and it has been hard, but the most beautiful thing that I've done so far.
Really proud of what we've done, proud and honored to have sailed every mile.
It's been an adventure, it's been a transformation, it's been a million things. And it's tiring. It's been a long journey.
It hasn't been the short answer has just been what I hoped for, what I wanted, and definitely what I needed. So it's delivered everything that I could possibly have dreamed of wanting.
Yeah, I think it checked so many boxes that I was looking for, and even ones I didn't know I was looking for.
A few times I thought to quit the race, but the crew kept me going.
It's bittersweet, actually. I'm really sad to be parting ways with some of the most amazing people that I've met on this race.
Yeah, the best part for me has been the people, the friends I've made.
Everyone you spend a year living with and around, it's such a dynamic, intense cooking pot of emotions and challenges, but opportunity.
It's very eye-opening, and I think it's good for you. It's good for people to go through something with other people, just to see that your way of thinking is not the only way of thinking.
This is a Zhuhai, the team Zhuhai. I sailed on this boat, traveled around the world, and that's changed my life. And I will tell them about the story about Clipper, and I think I will always be the ambassador of Clipper, always ambassador of Zhuhai.
Oh, I kept saying achieving the dream because this is it. This is literally my dream being achieved. I think there's also a sense of emptiness in a way.
because this has been a huge project. I feel there is empty space. My brain is undream ticked. What else?
I don't know that I can actually describe what it feels like. I think part of it's probably a little bit of shock, a little numb.
Yeah, there's so much there to process in pretty much every aspect of life. I can't think of anything that I've not processed, talked about, changed in some way, shape or form.
We are part of a very elite group now, and I feel proud. And I feel strong, actually, and stronger than before.
There's no going back. There's not. There's a return. There's a return to home, but there's no going back to what it was like before. There's no, I'm different now, and that's exciting.
Yeah, I think I am exactly the same, but completely different. I think it's difficult to put into words what we've just been through, what we've just achieved.
This feeling of life transformation, I did not expect. I did not expect at all.
Will life be normal ever again? I don't think so.
It is it's a thing that changes you. It challenges you in a new way that you can't imagine. It really changes you as a person. Yeah, and you're proud of yourself.
I'm not going to be the same person I was before I left. It's going to be completely different.
Yeah, I don't think there's a going back to who I used to be.
I don't think there'd be any one of the hundreds of crew would disagree with you there that, yeah, there's no going back to who you were.
So what are you waiting for? Oh, what are you waiting for? So what are you waiting for? Oh, what are you waiting for? So just tell me when, even if friends, I miss the beginning, 'cause it feels like the end. I know maybe this life just weren't meant for us. With that said,